Hey guys, my name is Mubarak. I'm a surf teacher. I've been teaching surfing for more than 10 years. So a few things you should know before you start surfing is you need to find a good board. You need to find a soft board like this kind of boards, a bit longer. Second thing, you also need to know about the beach safety. So of course you can swim about 50 meters, that's important. And also, like, to select your beach, you need to find a beach break where you don't get any rocks, and you need to choose the right tide. So you always need to get on the beach when it's mid-tide to high tide or high tide to mid-tide, not when it's going low tide. When it's low tide, it's very shallow water and the wave just clouds out, so you might break your board or you might hurt yourself. Another thing is you don't want to go there when it's like 2 meters wave or 3 meters wave. So you want to be careful with the size of the waves. If it's too big, you have to avoid it. Other thing is when you're for your first time, you never want to go more than your waist high deep water. So a lot of skills take place only in the waist high deep water maximum, and you don't need to paddle your board out there. So just take your board, just hold your board all the way to reach your waist high deep water, and then from there put your board down and just wait for your white water. So white water is a wave that already broken. So then you wait for it and you select that white water with a good distance. Then you lie down on your board and you start to paddle. And when this white water hits you, you paddle a little bit more, then you stand up, then you ride it all the way toward the beach. Other things, the currents. So you need to, there are tidal currents, so you can always, before you get in the water, you want to make sure you select two landmarks, and then you keep practicing between these two landmarks. So whenever you are too far to the side, then you come back and then walk back all the way on the beach, of course, it's easier, and then go back again in the middle. If you realize that you are dragged too much to this side, then again get a wave and then walk on the beach all the way to the center where you started, and then go back. So you keep always surfing between these two landmarks, which can be 200 meters, 300 meters. Always get this habit to keep two landmarks and always look at the beach so you see how much you move. Another thing is when you take in your board out there, so make sure you're not walking behind another surfer. So you're not walking behind another surfer. Always give distance between you and another surfer, another person who is also practicing next to you. So once you are there in your waist high deep water, make sure you don't lie down on your board before you check there is no one coming behind you. While you're practicing the white water, anyone comes from the back, from out the back, get the priority to go. So make sure you, before you lie down on your board to catch that white water, check there is no other surfer coming from the back. So if a surfer comes from the back, you need to drag your board to the side and let the surfer pass, or drag it to this side so you can let the surfer pass. Once it's quiet, there's no one behind you, then you can lie down on your board and catch your wave. I'm gonna show you the parts of the board. So you have the front of your board is the nose, and then you have the top of the board, and you have the leash which goes on your back foot. So you need a leash always to attach it to your foot, and this part is the tail of your board, and the sides, we call it the rails of your board. and you have the bottom of your board, and then you have the fins, of course, so you can tell that this part goes on the surface of the water. The fins helps the board to be more stable when your board is floating in the water. Okay, I think I covered all the parts of the board. So the first skill you want to learn is how to find the center point of your board. So you never want to be too far back on your board, or too far forward on your board, or too far to one side. So that's the first skill you want to learn before even you learn how to stand up. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you how to learn that right here on the beach. Here you are, you're ready to learn how to lie down on your board and try to learn how to find that center point of your board. When you place your hands on your board to get your center point easily, always look at your board and place your hands right in the center of your board, and then nicely lie down on your board. So make sure you don't lie like hard on your board. So gently lie down on your board like this, and try to usually check the back of your board with your feet, so the tail. So once your feet are placed on the tail, that's about 95% balance. So if you see that you in the water, if you realize that your nose is sinking, that means you're too far forward, so do a little slide back. But usually starting with your feet completely from the back, you will maybe just need to slide a little bit forward if your nose is stalling, if your nose is up a little bit. Okay, so check, your feet should look together, so keep your legs together. And then from now, the wave are coming behind you, the white water you selected from your waist high deep water, and it's a white water, it's a wave that's already broken. Then you only need to focus to the front of toward the beach. Okay, so now you're gonna start to paddle, and make sure you put your hands close to the side of your board. So make your hands, your fingers touching each other a little bit like this, looking forward. So you're not really putting your chin down on the board, but you're not also like really arching like this. So just slightly up like this, looking forward, and then paddle one hand forward and the other hand, so nicely. So if you select your wave about 8 meters behind you, you don't need to paddle that much, so you're not tired before the wave gets you. So just about 5 strokes approximately. So you can start the paddle about 5 strokes. So this wave will get you about 5 stroke paddling. So you look forward, paddle, paddle, paddle. Once the wave gets your feet, then paddle a little bit more, paddle, 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 paddle. Once you feel connecting with the white water, just hold on to your board. So you can do this or this, but I prefer if you hold your board with a little bit in the sides. And as I said earlier, so you don't need to lift up your chest that high unless your nose is want to sink. Then do a little lift up to put more weight on the back of your board. Otherwise, just feel one with your board, and then float, float, float. Just before you get to the shore, you need to stop. So you don't want to bring this board all the way to the shallow water, so you may break your fins or may hurt yourself. So stop by splitting your legs and then sit on your board. So this is the first lesson you want to practice.